It's well known that Kion, who was the leader of the Lion Guard and one of the main characters in the Lion Guard series, did not appear in The Lion King 2. The question arises, why was Kion absent from the film? Was it just a plot mistake, or was Kion introduced later in the series? In fact, there are several theories that might explain his absence. One common explanation is that Kion was born around the same time as the events of The Lion King 2, but he was far away from the Pride Lands during that period. Interestingly, some believe that Kion was on a healing mission to the Tree of Life during this time. Why the Tree of Life? Because Kion had been injured in a battle against Scar's evil spirit, and it's thought that this battle was one of the main reasons why he wasn't involved in the main events of the film. However, if we link the Tree of Life to Kion's absence, we see that Kion was on a personal journey during a time when the Tree of Life wasn't a part of the storyline in The Lion King 2. Although the tree didn't appear in this specific film, we can argue that its absence is tied to Kion's absence. So it seems that Kion's presence in the story was relegated to far-off places outside the Pride Lands. In The Lion King 2, the main antagonist was Zira, who led an attack on Simba's pride. The obvious absence of Kion and his guard during this time had a significant impact on the film's events. With Kion and his team missing, the responsibility fell to Kiara and Kovu to confront Zira and stop her attack. This distribution of roles in the film could justify Kion's absence, as the focus was on introducing new characters like Kiara and Kovu. Given Kion's absence from The Lion King 2, another hypothesis suggests that he was already born during that time. But due to his journey to the Tree of Life, everything had already been resolved in the Pride Lands by the time he returned. Therefore, there was no need for him to appear in the film. These ideas become even more intriguing with the new Mufasa movie, which strengthens the notion that Kion was indeed part of the story from the start. It's possible that Kion was born during the same time period as The Lion King 2, but because of his journey to the Tree of Life, the events happened without him. The film adds depth to the story and makes us reconsider Kion's role in the Lion King universe. After the events of The Lion King 2, Vitani, Kovu's sister, went on to form a new Lion Guard. In the end, Kion passes on the roar of the Lion Guard to Vitani, which reflects her leadership potential. This could also be part of Disney's plan to highlight new characters in the series and show how the story progressed even without Kion's direct involvement in the events. Returning to the original question, why was Kion absent from The Lion King 2? There could be several reasons for this, including Disney's desire to create a sense of mystery and intrigue among the audience. Kion's absence may have been part of a larger effort to build a more complex world, where the focus of the film was on characters like Kiara and Kovu, and creating a love story and rivalry between them. Of course, Kion's absence allowed for new developments and major opportunities for other characters. If Kion had appeared in this film, things might have been quite different. He might have become one of Simba's main antagonists, and perhaps he would have played a pivotal role in the battle against Zira. Or there might have been a major rivalry between Kion and Kovu, just as it happened with the previous characters. In the end, we can ask ourselves, was Disney's decision a deliberate one? It's clear that Disney succeeded in sparking questions and curiosity among its audience about this topic. Perhaps this was the whole point behind Kion's absence: to leave the door open for speculation and make the audience always seek an answer to what has not yet been revealed. Ultimately, regardless of the true reasons behind Kion's absence from The Lion King 2, the question remains: what would have happened if Kion had been present in the film? Would the events have taken a completely different turn? And would this storyline have gone in an entirely different direction? Anything is possible in the world of The Lion King, and all we can do is imagine how things would have unfolded if Kion had been part of this movie. All we can do now is wait for more stories and details in the future. Kion's absence from The Lion King 2 had a significant impact on the development of the other characters in the film. Had Kion appeared in this installment, it would have caused substantial changes in the course of events. One of the major changes would have been how he would interact with Kovu, a character who became one of the key figures in this film. Kion could have appeared in a completely different light compared to Kovu, creating a strong challenge for him both personally and as a leader. The relationship between Kion and Kovu would have been filled with competition and challenges, adding a complex dimension to the storyline. This conflict between Kion and Kovu could have led to new alliances, reshaping how the characters evolved in the film. If we were to imagine how Kion's presence would have affected the events, it's likely that he would have emerged as one of Simba's main enemies. There would have been an internal family conflict between Simba and his son Kion over the throne, leading to tensions within the kingdom. This conflict would have added another level of complexity to The Lion King 2, and would have allowed us to witness a greater struggle for power between the new and old generations of the lion family. These internal struggles would have given the film greater depth and complexity in its narrative. However, Kion's presence could have overshadowed other characters like Kiara and Kovu, who needed more space to develop. Disney may have decided to focus on these new characters so they could shine more, giving them the opportunity to build their own stories. Vitani and Kovu were the main characters in this installment, and Kion's appearance might have distracted from their development. If Kion had shown up, he would have taken all the attention, possibly overshadowing the core storyline that was centered around Kiara and Kovu's growth and character development. But with Kion's absence, Disney left room for questions and speculation about his character's fate. These questions weren't just a passing curiosity. They created an ongoing debate among fans of the series. Everyone was wondering, where was Kion? Why didn't he show up? This question added an exciting element to the story that wouldn't have existed had Kion actually been present. This gap left by Disney made his absence an integral part of the dramatic buildup of the series. Certainly, Disney may have intentionally wanted to exploit this absence to create a sense of mystery among its audience. Perhaps the goal was for Kion to remain a central character in fans' minds, with the idea that he would return later, possibly in an upcoming installment of the series. The idea that his absence was part of a plan to spark curiosity about him made the audience continually wonder if and when he would appear, and how his return would affect the course of the story. In this way, Kion's absence can be viewed not just as a missing character, but as a tool to build dramatic tension and provide a greater opportunity for audience engagement with the story. As for the development of future storylines, we can imagine that if Kion had appeared in The Lion King 2, the film would have been completely different. Kion could have introduced a new element into the conflict with Zira, and he might have dealt with threats to Simba's kingdom, much like he did in his previous roles. His presence would have altered the course of events, and he might have become a central figure in a new battle against evil. But all we can do is imagine how the story would have evolved had he been present. This very question might have been why Disney chose not to include Kion in The Lion King 2. His absence created continuous curiosity among fans, helping to keep the series alive in everyone's minds. Perhaps the idea behind this was to give the audience something to look forward to in the future, and to create a large space for speculation about Kion's role in the upcoming events. Even in the future, with Mufasa, we may see Kion return at an unexpected moment, taking on a significant place in the series. In the end, the question remains, what would have happened if Kion had been in The Lion King 2? Would the events have changed drastically? How would his presence have impacted the other characters? All these questions open up many possibilities, making us eagerly await the answers in the future.